I'm a fan of non-traditional games, where gameplay takes a backseat and instead wants to craft a unique experience. I have learned to seek these titles out, gaining experiences that I've never had before. However, I have been burned far more often than not by doing this, with far changing tides following suit. This game follows Toe, who finds himself alone in a flooded world. Seeking shelter, Toe comes across a strange ship and begins to sail, searching for survivors or a place to call home. Unfortunately, it isn't easy to follow any narrative for far-changing tides. There isn't any dialogue, and most of the structures found only allow glimpses into the past. So instead, the focus is on small encounters and challenges the player faces while traveling. Some are incidental, for example, needing to find fuel when you upgrade to an engine or puzzling out how to get your boat through a choke point. These decisions emphasize player choice to stop and search for power or continue to find another stop. Instead, I found myself sitting around waiting for my ship to hit something. Sailing is charming and engaging when the journey first begins. However, I quickly grew bored as only slight adjustments are needed once you set sail. Frequently, my attention drifted away from the game and onto other stimuli, only being brought back by hearing my boat crash or fuel run out. Adding a few story hooks would have done wonders for engagement. For example, instead of having no narrative, Toe could have had some thoughts about what he saw or what he thought about them. Instead, we are left wondering what each structure's purpose, some obvious, some so alien that I wasn't even sure what it could be. This issue is a shame, as the world offered up is an interesting one to see. Buildings are flooded and knocked over, and mysterious machines littered the land, begging explorers to delve into them. In many ways, I would have preferred the ability to explore the world entirely, sailing from inches point to inches point instead of being locked to a two-dimensional plane. However, the world itself is mysterious, inviting musings of what could have led to the flood and Toe's place in the world. The atmosphere is the strength of fire, and when it gets going, can suck you in. The colors of the aquatic depths are beautiful. The issue is that the game would gain so much from allowing the player to interact with the world. I constantly felt like I was taking a tour and couldn't touch. The only things you can interact with are the ship itself, where you spend at least 75% of the game, fuel sources, and puzzle locations. I've already spoken about the other two, but the puzzles rarely felt substantial. The vast majority of them involve pushing blocks or finding power sources. The complexity of the puzzles never goes much further than this, and repetition was abundant. Repetition is the fatal flaw that I had on Toe's journey. Once the initial charm wears off, there isn't anything substantial to hang on to. The scenery, while beautiful, starts to feel like you've seen it all before after a few hours. The vehicle, while engaging, starts to become automatic and feels like there's too much time between points of interest. It feels like the developers inserted padding to extend playtime. Sadly, this drags out a compelling experience without much to break up the monotony of it all. I was exhausted by the experience and felt like I had endured a solo adventure across the seas. Far Changing Tides offers a unique experience sailing across a drowned world. The world itself is beautiful and can draw you into it with its colors and mystery. Regrettably, the shallow gameplay, no story to speak of, and long periods doing nothing mar an experience that could have been memorable. Nevertheless, there is something here for those who want a calming adventure with little action. Sadly, I can't see myself ever coming back to revisit this drowned world. Noisy Pixel is giving Far Changing Tides a 6.5 out of 10. Alright, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Stop by and read the full review over on noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers that work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.